get the blues, come on, get a rhythm. When you get the blues, get a rock and roll, feel in your bones, the taps on your toes. Get going, get a rhythm, alright. When you get the blues, well, the shoe shine boy never gets slowed down, but he's got the dirtiest job in town. Ben Blue at the people's shoes, had a key from getting the blues. He grinned as he raised his little head off the shoe shine rack. Then he said, get a rhythm, alright, it's a gangster party. When you get the blues, come on, get a rhythm. When you get the blues, down the rhythm, make it feel so bad, shake all your tail.
Okay, we're ready. Good morning.
Good morning.
I said good morning.
Good morning.
All right, that's a little better. First of all, another round of applause for Drew Young and the Walking Phoenixes. Thanks, guys. It's time to have a grand opening for Folsom's newest gateway and landmark trail. It's a special day. My name is Robert Goss. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director for this wonderful, beautiful city of Folsom, and it's my distinct pleasure to preside over this tremendous event. At this time, I would like to introduce Sergeant Taka Robinson and the Folsom Prison Color Guard, who will be presenting colors for our national anthem. Those of you in the middle of the trail, we're going to ask you to kind of step aside and allow the color guard to come forward. When they get here, Folsom resident Helen Ventura will sing our national anthem.
Hold. Left. Space. Post. Color.
A bit ludicrous to ask you to rise for the national anthem. So instead, please remove your hats and bicycle helmets for our national anthem. Helen?
Detail. Present. Horn.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Helen. Before we go any further, I would like to introduce our Folsom City Council.
On left. Horn.
To my right, Mayor Carrie Howell, Vice Mayor Ernie Sheldon, Council members Andy Moran, Jeff Starsky, and Steve Miklos. Also with us today is Chief Executive of the City of Folsom, Everett Palmer. And we have several other special guests here today, but I'm going to have Mayor Howell introduce them in a moment. So let's get started. In this city, there are several names that you know, that you've heard about, and that you've seen around town. Names that have historic influence and meaning, such as Joseph Libby Folsom, Theodore DeHone Judah, John Augustus Sutter. There are also other important names such as Elvie Perazzo Briggs, Artie Mae Davies, Georgia Murray, Jack Kipp, and even Robert Holderness. You will find these names preserved on street signs, public facilities, and bronze plaques throughout the city. To a person, they were and are iconic Folsom citizens. Now, because of a two-concert performance nearly 50 years ago, there's another name we must formally recognize in our community. Those concerts resulted in a 3-times platinum live album that reached #1 on the country music charts and even #13 on the pop music charts. Not only did its hit single, Folsom Prison Blues, win a Grammy Award, but it forever connected the Man in Black with the city of Folsom. We are here today to celebrate the grand opening of the Johnny Cash Trail and Overcrossing, and to formally add his name to the list of people that have had a profound influence on this city. With that preface, I would like to introduce the 2014 Mayor of Folsom, Carrie Howell.
Thanks, Robert. I'm thrilled to see so many people here today. I've said, and many of you have heard me say this before, when Folsom throws a party, everybody shows up. So we had 150 people here the morning of the groundbreaking, after we'd had pretty significant rain the night before, so we were all pretty muddy. But this is awesome. I'm thrilled that the trail's been almost completed. The city manager and the Parks and Rec department and probably the contractor weren't necessarily thrilled when I called the day after reading the event schedule at the Harris Center, 3 stages, and we had a special guest that was appearing, and I said, I know we're supposed to open it on the 18th, but we need to move it up because somebody very, very important is coming to town. So before I make my additional comments, I want you all to give a huge Folsom welcome to Grammy Award winner Roseanne Cash. Strong love who played a great concert at 3 stages last night. How many of you were there? One other person that I want to thank who flew the furthest to attend the concert last night and this event today is Bob Dawson, who is our lobbyist on the inappropriately named bridge behind me. And Bob was our link to get in touch with the Cash family, who have been hugely supportive of this project, and we thank them, and we're thrilled that they're here today. And Roseanne's going to speak in a little bit. So, and I'm an engineer, so that at least the one thing that we can say about this project is it is on time. We haven't gotten the budget numbers yet, so we'll have to have that conversation with Robert later. So, but thanks again for everybody for being here. I can't wait to actually dust off my bicycle and go for a ride on this trail. In addition, I also want to thank everybody that worked on this project, the general contractor, Westcon Construction of Newcastle, and I saw some of the Westcon people. I want one of those t-shirts, those are really cool. Eric Campbell, the owner, Greg Jones, the project superintendent, Gordon Jones, Rob Garner, site supervisor, Mike Latham, the bridge foreman, who made sure that on September 25th, when they put this deck in place, that it was right where it was supposed to be. And Matt Abregon, the project engineer, major subcontractors that worked on the project, Capcon for the bridge formwork, Gerdo for the rebar, Kodiak Roofing. Everybody like the roof? Yeah. Gray Electric, Hemington Landscaping, Unico Engineering, Geocon Consulting, the design engineer, Doken Engineering of Folsom, and we had Richard Liptek, the principal, our own Tony Powers, longtime Folsom resident project engineer, and if you valeted your bike, you probably gave it to Tony, because he's down there working yet again. Rob Burns, Brian Stevenson, design architect, Louis Kaufman, who perfected the Eastgate architectural interpretation for these abutments. The real estate consultant was Julie Klein of Interwest Consulting to get the easement and work with the Department of Corrections for them to allow us to use this property for this great trail. The project partners, Folsom Prison, Lydia Romero, Chief Deputy Warden CSP Sacramento Jeff Maycumber, Acting Warden Bureau of Reclamation Drew Lassard, Area Manager of the Corps of Engineers, David Thomas, who's the Director of the Joint Federal Project that's working on the dam behind us, Linda Calvert, who retired the day that she got the easement purchase agreement signed, and I believe she's here today, retired from CDC, and that was her last action, was to make sure that this was clean. City departments, virtually everybody. Everybody in the city has had something to do with this, from finance to community development to Parks and Rec. It takes a strong team, and longtime Folsom residents and new Folsom residents as well know we have nothing if not a strong team. When we set our mind to getting something done, we're going to get it done. I also want to thank our senior trails planner, Jim Knopka, whose grant writing skills, you've all heard of Jim. He's basically the $15 million man, because that's about how much grant money he's attracted to the city of Folsom for trails. So thank you to all those people. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to, the Vice Mayor would like to speak, so Bernie Sheldon's coming up.
Good morning. First of all, I want to start out saying thanks to my council members that were there before I got on the council. I came on the council about 4 months after when we then opened this crossing. Of course, as a newcomer on the council, I took credit for it, but it belongs to Jeff, Andy, Steve, Kerry, and Eric King. And they, by doing that overcrossing, we were able to do this bridge. Not only are we here to celebrate a great man of music, but we're also here to pay respect to the people in Folsom and the surrounding areas that like to bike, they like to run, they like to walk, because this particular project is going to be probably one of the most safest things we've done in the city of Folsom since I've been here. It's going to take people off the hazardous Natoma Street and make them safe. So a word of caution to the two parties, bikers, walkers, you have your side of the road, stay on that side of the road. Robert Goss tells me that concrete and asphalt is pretty hard, and I believe what Robert says, because I think he found that out a few times. We have always known that wherever we go, if you mention Folsom, Johnny Cash shows up. And I can attest to that, because about 10 years ago or more, I was at an oldies that applied even then, a concert down in Odessa at Delta College, and Steve Allen was the headliner. And so we were allowed to submit some, little notes to get recognition, and so I put my name in from Folsom. Well, Steve recognized me in the way that says, are you here on a pass? And what's your time frame? When do you have to be back? So Johnny Cash's recognition of Folsom is throughout the world to all the entertainers and everything. So with her daughter being here, it's another, it's the whipped cream on the cake. But I welcome all you as the crowd gets bigger and bigger. And all I say, remember bikers, remember walkers, be very safe. Thank you a lot.
Good morning, everyone. Andy Moore and Folsom City Council, and thank you all for coming out here. I'm going to be very fast here. In 2009, when we opened up the Folsom Lake Crossing, we had a great crowd here, and it's great to see another great crowd. On that program, I was the 9th speaker. I'm now the 4th speaker, so I am moving up. I'm feeling good. But now we have the crossing over the crossing. So we'll call it this crisscross or something like that. But we've got lots of great stuff going on in town here. These represent two things near and dear to me, trails and our history. And to kind of couple those two things, and I know everybody out here feels the same way. Lastly, as is kind of procedure here in Folsom, and I don't know if the Cash family knows this, when we do recognize and dedicate a project to a family, they are in charge of maintenance. So sorry to spring that on you, Roseanne. There's a little gravel on the trail down there. I'll help you. Thank you very much. It's great having you out here, and it's my pleasure to introduce Council Member Jeff Starsky.
Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to thank all the cyclists that are out here. This is a great day for cyclists. How many of you from out of town, cyclists? All of you that ride up? I just want to let you know, this is how the weather is in Folsom every day. It is. I kid you not. So I'm not going to thank all kinds of folk. Carrie did all that. This is a great day. I just want to tell you a little bit of facts about the trail. This project completes a 1.5 mile stretch that costs $4 million for this bridge and this 1.5 mile of roadway. The second phase will be another section of trail that will continue where this leaves off by the Folsom Prison entrance and run all the way down behind Rodeo Park. That will begin next year. That will put Folsom at or near 40 miles of trails internally within the city. There is no other city like that. Well, there's one. It's It's Minneapolis, Minnesota, but they can only use their trails 3 months out of the year. We get to use ours all year. So one other part of this project that you're going to see, and I'll encourage you all to take a look, it's the art that we're going to incorporate into this project. There will be art displays throughout this trail system that it is the Johnny Cash Trail, and they're on exhibit in that second white tent behind you. I would encourage you to take a look at it, because it is very, very impressive, and it's something that's very, very unique, and it will stand out, and we believe will attract tourists to come who are all very big fans of Johnny Cash. And so with that, I will just say thank you very much for coming. It's another great trail for Folsom, another great day for Folsom. And I'd like to introduce my colleague, Mr. Steve Miklos.
I'm going to keep this real short. To Andy's point, when we opened the Folsom Lake Crossing, I was the mayor, I was #1. Now look where I am. That's okay, I had blonde hair then too. Anyways, first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you to Roseanne and her family for the opportunity for us to honor your father's heritage. And as a songwriter and a song player, and Mr. Dawson can attest to that fact, I couldn't be more thrilled for the way we're honoring your family and your dad specifically, with guitar picks all over the place. And yes, that's why my thumb hurts, I was playing. But anyway, I just want to say thank you to the community as well. Without your direction, without your guidance, and certainly without your insistence, just a little kidding there, we always try to do the best we can do for this community. There's reasons why we've been ranked #1 in the country, let alone in the state, as far as being one of the best places to live, work, play, raise a family, start a business, is because your city council, your city staff listen to what the community says, and we implement the plan that you asked us to do. And with the assistance of folks like when Congressman Doug Osee was in office, he made sure our tax dollars came back. With the assistance of people like Bob Dawson, who knows the federal level and knows how to make these programs work, we're able to put things together for you. And certainly, but not in any stretch of imagination at least, with the participation of icons in our history, in this case the Cash family, they made it possible for us to do this and recognize their family heritage and the heritage of Folsom. So enjoy what we've built for you. We have many, many more amenities coming your way, and thank you for enjoying it. Enjoy the weather. Thank you. With that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Rob Ross, who's the chairman of our Park and Recreation Commission. Rob?
Wow. So I'm way down on the list. I don't even want to go where I'm at on the list, because that should tell you something. So, but I'm going to start off this right, because we need to memorialize this event. And today, what do? We memorialize events on social media. So I'm going to take a selfie, but I want all you guys to get in there as good as we can. So, all right, wait, there we go. Wait, I can't even see me. Oh, you know what? I'm on the wrong camera. That's like the worst thing you can do.
That'd be a great selfie.
Oh my God, you have to figure out how to use these things too, apparently.
Amateur.
There we go. Amateur. That's right. That's exactly right. All right, here we go. Everybody put your hands up, smile, and say Folsom. 1, 2, 3.
Folsom!
All right. That's going to be on social media. I hope you don't mind. Wow. It is a great day to be a resident here, isn't it? So it took 2 large semi-trucks to bring this bridge over here. It came from across the country, and it's going to stand here for many decades. There's a neat story, though, that goes along with that. The bridge was supposed to arrive a day earlier, and it didn't make it. It didn't make it because it hit the Utah-Nevada border on Sunday, and apparently it wasn't allowed to proceed because there's a law in Nevada that says that oversized loads can't drive on their roads on the weekend. And I thought, well, that's funny, because I didn't think anything was illegal in Nevada. But it was a big load, and it's a big load even for big trucks. The span alone of this bridge weighs in at a svelte 38 tons. But that's kind of the way we do things here. It reminds me that Walt Disney was arguably one of the greatest business minds of the 20th century. And he would have smiled and said, "Plussed it perfectly." Because Walt wouldn't have been satisfied with an ordinary bridge that crossed a road. See, when Disney Imagineers had an idea for a project or a new attraction or a design, it didn't make a difference whether it was good or whether it wasn't good. He asked the same question at the end of the meeting every time: how can we plus it? So a lot of people think, well, maybe Walt put a bunch of money towards it. No, plussing it never meant throwing more money or gold plating something. He believed that by incorporating design elements and being creative with the resources that you have, that you can take an ordinary thing and make it an experience. I believe our city council leaders and staff share in Walt's belief because they constantly ask themselves, how can we plus it? When we brought this to our city council, they saw what we saw, and they all enthusiastically wanted to plus it. So this is more than a bridge, a trail, or a connection gateway. It's a symbol of the commitment our city leaders have to providing world-class, truly world-class amenities for the people that call Folsom home, like me. And it's a constant reminder to the link that we have with one of the greatest recording artists of all time and his family. So, as I close, do me a favor today. When you walk across the bridge or wander down the trail, ask yourself, did we plus it? You don't need to come back and tell me, because I already know the answer. Thanks.
Now I'd like to introduce California State Assembly member Beth Gaines.
Good afternoon, or good morning. Thank you so much for having me here on this momentous occasion. Is this a great day for Folsom? I'd like to thank Rob Goss for your leadership on this project, as well as Roseanne Cash. Thank you so much for being here, for helping us celebrate the opening of this beautiful bridge connecting the Johnny Cash Trail. As we all know, this trail is named after an international icon, Johnny Cash, that not only graced us with his talent, but put Folsom on the map through his music. He did all that and more. This bridge further expands a system of trails that is second to none. I know through my work with the Department of Public Health that Folsom is leading the way with next-gen city planning for areas of outdoor recreation. Trails like these encourage everyone to get active, and increase our physical activity is a huge component for our fight against diabetes and other health-related issues. Legislatively, I'm excited to continue my efforts to build a new and improved museum highlighting the history of Folsom Prison, which will further enhance this trail and help preserve the history of the California prison system, Folsom's key role in that history, and the legacy of Johnny Cash. Today's a great day for Folsom. Thank you for being here and helping us celebrate. Now I'd like to present a certificate of recognition to Carrie Howell, Mayor Carrie Howell, and to Rob Goss. On behalf of the state of California, we want to thank you for your hard work and thank you for your dedication to the city of Folsom.
I would like to introduce Keaton Riley, Field Representative for Congressman Ami Bera.
Thank you very much. I'll make this quick. I know you all want to put this trail to use, so I just want to really congratulate and commend the city of Folsom. They've done an amazing job on this. This is just another great example of the city really building on its identity and creating something that's not only great for residents, but going to be an amazing draw for the region. So congratulations to them. We also have a certificate of recognition on behalf of Congressman Bera in our office. And so, Mayor, here you go. Congratulations. This is certainly an exciting day.
And our next to last speaker is our County Supervisor, Berta McClashen.
Thank you, Carrie. So I'm next to last before the guest of honor, Ms. Cash, so I'll be brief, but there are just two things I love about Folsom. Well, not just two things, but the two things I love the most and about representing you on the Board of Supervisors. One is when there's an event in Folsom, the community turns out. Give yourselves a hand for that. And second, I call Folsom the city that gets things done. You are the only city in the region or county that can build a bridge. And here's another one. So congratulations, and thank you for the privilege of being here this morning. And with that, I'll turn it back to Mayor Carrie Howell.
Next, I'm going to ask our guest of honor, Roseanne Cash, to say a few words. But before I do that, I have a present for you. Come on. Sorry, it's not the wine and chocolate from last night, but it is in fact the key to the city of Folsom.
Thank you. Let me show everyone.
Please, please.
Oh, there you go. Hold it up there, lady.
We are just absolutely thrilled and know how difficult and tight your schedule is today. So we really, really appreciate your taking time out to stop in and celebrate this with us. And I hope your concert tonight is wonderful in Chico.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much for first rearranging the opening so that I could be here. I feel very special that you did that. The city of Folsom found out I was performing here last night, and Mayor said, we got to move it up. And so I thank you for doing that. I want to acknowledge that my husband, John Leventhal, and my manager, Danny Kahn, are both here. And Danny has been the liaison for all of this. So give them a round of applause. About 20 years ago, I was teaching a songwriting workshop in New York City, and I had this songwriter named Robert Dawson come to my class. Come to find out, a couple decades later, he is a lobbyist for the city of Folsom. He wrote me an email and he said, you know, Folsom wants to commemorate your dad's connection with the city. I thought, well, that's nice. That may or may not happen. And a couple years went by. My family and I monitored the progress of that. And here we are today. It happened. And I'm so thrilled it did. Thank you, Bob, for doing that. 45 years ago, my dad went to his record label, CBS, Columbia Records as it was known at the time, it's now known as Sony, and said, I want to record an album inside of Folsom Prison. And they said, you're crazy. You're coming off a big hit, Ring of Fire. Why would you want to go into a prison? Nobody will buy that album. It took him a long time to convince the record label to let him do it. And that album sold over 3 million copies. So he was right. His connection and our family's connection will go on in the most beautiful way with the city of Folsom, with this trail and the art that commemorates what happened here 45 years ago. And I think he would be flabbergasted. You know, he thought he was recording this album in the prison with these tough prisoners, and it was great. People loved it. And now this beauty and this connection to nature that he loved so much is going to be here forever. And this bridge that so artfully connects the two is really an amazing thing. And I am here to represent my whole family. Like I said, we've all monitored the progress. My sister Cindy helped choose the artists who would be involved, and that was really special to her. And she sends her love to all of you today as well. I don't want to take up much more time, but because I want to cut this ribbon and let you bikers and walkers go across. But I want to say that at some point I want to come back and ride the bike across the bridge. That will be the completion of this for me. And I was here in 2011, and I went to the prison and I saw the cafeteria where my dad, you know, I was only 12 years old when he did the concert, and they wouldn't let me in then. But they let me in 2011, and I saw where it all happened, and it was one of the most moving experiences I've ever had. And to be here today and see the completion of this whole thing and how the connection will live on is very, very special for me and my family. And I thank the City Council and all the city officials who have done this, and state officials, the Parks and Recreation Department. I mean, if nothing else, you show that your commitment was the same as my dad when he convinced the record label by all showing up and making this happen. Thank you so much. I'll give you a round of applause. Oh, my key.
She can't forget the key. She won't get to come back.